Okay, before I start cutting, I'm just going to show you how to put a blade into your saw frame. So basically I have my saw frame and my blade, and what I do is I just put it against the bench here, and I make sure that the teeth of the blade are always facing towards me. So just put it into that side first, just twist that open, and then just clamp it shut, and then with the other side, same thing. Just put it into the hole there, and clamp it shut, and basically I have it at the end of my saw frame. I can adjust the tension, so if I want it slightly looser or slightly tighter, I just twist this little spring. So once I've done that, then I'm ready to start cutting. So what I'm going to do for this piece, because I'm actually cutting the inside of the design, I'm going to open one part of the blade again and just put it through, and then reattach it to the saw frame. And then I'm ready to start cutting. So what I do is I hold the metal down onto my peg and just keep that very steady so it doesn't move. And with my saw frame, the blade perpendicular to the metal, I just begin by moving the blade up and down very gently. Curves in this piece, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the metal as I'm cutting, and just important not to, as you're cutting around the curves and the corners, to keep the blade moving, that way it won't snap. So then you can slow it down. So I'll just do it here. So you can see the way that you can move the metal around and get into all the curves and corners. So I'll just do another one here just so you can see it. So there we go. So that's just basically how you cut, and that applies to silver, brass, any metal that you're cutting with a fine blade like this. So the things to remember, just to always keep your blade perpendicular to your metal, that your saw frame doesn't move like that, just keep it dead straight, and also just to keep your metal held down so that it doesn't jump up on you, and also just to do it nice and steady, and obviously don't go too fast or too slow, but just keep the blade moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the rest of this design, and then I'm just going to show you a close-up of how I'm cutting. So now that I have all the design cut out from the centre, what I'm doing is I'm just cutting around the circle, so just cutting the piece out of the sheet of metal. And the reason I do this last is because while I'm cutting the fine detail in the centre of the piece, it's just handy to have it still in the sheet of metal, so you have more to secure or to hold on to when you're cutting, so it keeps it steadier. So now that I've done all that, I'm just cutting in the same way as I cut out the detail, just moving the blade up and down and just gradually gliding the metal along to follow the circle. So just coming towards the end there, it's just important to keep it held down because you only have a tiny little piece of metal left holding it, so you just have to hold it down. So there we go, I have my piece cut out. So all I need to do next is take the paper off and file and polish it, so we'll have a look at it then.